listeners, right now there are some amazing news stories coming out of Ear Hustle, our fellow Radiotopia show and the podcast about the daily realities of prison life. There's one episode called My Favorite Color, where we hear the conversation between a father and daughter who haven't seen each other in 26 years, partly because the daughter followed in her dad's footsteps and paid a heavy price for it. In another, we meet a guy who, at the age of 13, got a tattoo job on his face that would influence the course of his life. And you know what? He's got no regrets. There's a story about what it's like to be betrayed by a dog, and another that explains how to hug someone when hugging itself is against the rules. These are the kinds of stories you hear on Ear Hustle. They're raw, they're deep, often very funny, and what Ira Glass calls decidedly untragic. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. Also, check out their live show, which is swinging through the Northeast U.S. at the end of May. Details are at earhustlesq.com/tour.
From Studio G in Radiotopia and Mermaid Palace, welcome to the heart. I'm Caitlin Prest. These are the very first sounds of lawn mowing that I've heard since the snow melted. The sounds you are now hearing are not added after the fact. They are happening right now as I record this, with the garage door open because it's springtime. Before that, I was hearing the sounds of shovels in the morning. This is episode May of Suburban Paradise. A purposely oxymoronic title for a series of inconsequential creative works made during an era of global crisis. The supreme paradox and cruel, as in violent, actually violent, juxtaposition. The kind of quiet that comes from a kind of safety, that comes from a global dominance that is secure only because of a kind of brutality. It is from this cruel paradox that I put one foot in front of the other, accepting the triviality of my life while refusing to numb myself to the truth. We begin segment 1 with sound, with listening.
Yes.
The world around me, around us, that is now going to be around you.
Oh, who's calling? I have to be quiet for a moment. Are you? Because there's ducks. I'm in a field of Canadian geese and I'm recording them with my Zoom for my...
Can you guess where I am?
Season of the Heart. Yet another one. Oh, they're quiet now. Oh, they're all looking at me. This is terrifying. What have I done? What was I thinking? They're dangerous, aren't they? Won't they? They can hurt me. They'll hurt me.
Do you know what time of year it is?
Tell me, Duck Queen! Tell me! Okay.
What time of day?
No babies. Don't see babies. Not chasing. Okay. Just because I've heard, are swans are evil? Is that the thing? What are the scary ones that can really hurt you? Okay, yeah. Okay, just checking. Yeah. Right. And, they can tell that I'm bigger than them. Oh God. I'm okay, I'm free. I'm past it. I'm past them. I got through. I'm on the other side. Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess each place that a person lives is hard to kind of like build a new fecund community. Like, where you live, it presents some challenges, and then Toronto also presents challenges. Yeah.
Segment 2. Diary. One diary entry from one period of time that has not been altered, shared in its most earnest, honest, and naked form. Written on the blue Royal typewriter with the new ribbon. What am I for? At Moorcroft Road. September 27th, 2025. What am I for? People. I'm a people who needs people, who is hurt by people, and yet, no lesson have I ever learned, really, by being hurt by people. I am hurt exactly the amount that I love. I refuse to love less, and so I am obliterated anew into new pieces of pieces, each time more afraid, each time determined not to be broken the same way I was the last time, and yet I'm broken each time, because each people is a new kind of obliterated. For some reason, I can't stop being afraid of being so stupid as to love someone else more than myself again. To love us more than they love me again. What am I for? Sloth, one of the 7 deadly sins in Catholic teachings, a habitual disinclination to exertion. Views concerning the virtue of work suggest that through inactivity, one invites sin. The word sloth is a translation of the Latin term acedia. It means without care. Acedia first referred to an affliction to women, obviously, wherein they became indifferent to their duties and obligations to God. Affectlessness, a lack of any feeling about self or others. Apathy, fundamentally a cessation of motion and an indifference to work. 2 commentators consider the most accurate translation of acedia to be self-pity, for it conveys both the melancholy of the condition and the self-centeredness upon which it is founded. To refuse joy from God. Dante encounters the slothful on the 4th terrace of Mount Purgatory, where his guide, the Roman poet, Virgil, explains that sloth can be seen as the effect of an insufficient amount of love. An inadequate amount of love for life, for God, for self. What am I for? Becky says I've been playing necromancy. So this is the zombie week that pays for the work I almost got done on the 72nd hour straight I worked for the 3rd week in a row. There is no done. Perfect as always. Next is an illusion. Building is real, but it comes from cycles. Not lines of a to-do list crossed off or checkmarked. From Earth around the sun. Consistency of celestial being perfection. Not from calendar squares and measured minute adding up to done. We are balls of light vibrating energy from the molten cores of our being, and we get more powerful with each ring around each other we spin into perfect circles shining out into the eyes of people far away. All my dreams are coming true. I kept on talking at parties about how I wanted to retire. It was kind of a joke, but the reality is that I'm living the life of a retired person. I'm surrounded by retired people. I wanted to spend weeks on end just being with friends, floating around like a rich person's daughter who doesn't have a calling yet. Spending a week here, spending a week there, until the Civil War starts. Segment 3. The segment is called My Favorite Podcast.
Oh my god, Yahweh Shaw.
My favorite podcast these days
Caitlin.
is not a podcast at all.
Caitlin, you are such a delight. I'm sorry.
It is long-ass voice memos in unedited and poorly mic'd fashion from my friends who happen to work in podcasting.
Oh my god, Caitlin, you are making me crack up at the airport.
The person who works in podcasting who has sent me this voice memo
I can't wait to hang out. There's so much to talk about.
is named Yahweh Shaw. You might have heard of her if you ever listened to the NPR show Invisibilia, or the badass indie show that she started called Proxy. In this segment, I am going to give you a tiny little amuse-bouche, a soundbite from the endless voice memo exchanges that is of particular comedic, educational, poetic, emotional, or random value. Something kind of revealing or cute. Okay, without further ado.
I feel like I've inherited, like, everything you said about just being kind of messy. Like, I am that person now. I have this memory of you years ago. I don't know, like, which podcast conference or thing, but I just remember we were in New York. Sharon Mashihi was there. We were on the subway platform, and you were crying. And I didn't know why, because we weren't close. But I am you. From several years ago. I am that person. I have been getting into altercations at podcast conferences and just like a crying mess. Not saying that you were a crying mess, but I definitely have been. Anyways, there's a lot to talk about. I can't wait.
I have no idea what the fuck I was crying about, but here's to crying in public. There's going to be a follow-up episode wherein we get to inhabit the actual podcast that my friend who works in podcasting, who sends me voice memos that I call my favorite podcast, creates. You heard Yahweh Shah, host and creator of the Proxy Podcast. Follow me on Instagram at Caitlin Prest. Donate to the Unemployed Philosophers Guild, of which I am a member. People keep telling me there's no such thing as living outside of capitalism. I'm fucking tired of it. Don't be so pessimistic. Let's start dreaming. The more I talk about this, the more I hear of different ways that people are hacking the system of capitalism and getting a bit socialist. Thank fucking God. Let's have more movies about the Bolshevik Revolution, please. What an incredible story. I cannot believe America has not allowed for one epic thriller about the Bolshevik Revolution. Anyway, okay, I do love all of you who are here with me, meandering inside my mind and continuing to show up to see what I come up with next. It is truly, I cannot even tell you what an honor it is. It's really, in this crazy world where there's everything all the time, I know we can't get enough, but it's also there's too much, and it's nice that you choose me when there's so much out there. It makes me feel very special. Okay, no pressure to continue to choose me. I won't actually ever know. It's just like sometimes whenever I thank people for a kind of support that I'm appreciating, it like then suddenly makes them feel like pressure to continue. I don't want you to feel pressure. I just want you to feel joy. Okay, bye.
Radiotopia.